This is a bitch are you serious, but it's not necessarily a negative one. But I didn't know what else to title this video. And it's not really a what the fuck moment of my life. It's just something that I feel like I need to address and get off my chest at this point. So, as you guys know, a couple of months ago I was in this relationship with this guy. He was older than me and stuff like that, and I was probably the happiest that I ever was. And this month right here made a year, would have made a year since he approached me to talk to me and all of this stuff, and we got to know each other and things like that. Back in February I was dealing with a whole lot. My mental state just wasn't the best. And you know, I don't mind sharing my real life on my channel, because that's what I built my channel across, is like being genuine and just talking about things that have happened to me, because the things that have happened to me probably happened to someone else, and maybe it could be a comfort to another person that could be going through it. And that's why I always share the things that I've witnessed or the things that I've personally went through in my life, because me talking about my issues could, you know, probably help somebody else. I was dealing with a lot during that time. My uncle Vest had passed away. My brother was having another one of his emotional episodes during that time. And it was just a whole lot going on. And at that particular moment, it was just things going on in my head. And let me just be clear with you guys. This man was probably the best man I ever met. Probably the best man I had ever had in my life. And I made the decision that I needed a break, because I knew that I couldn't focus on him and all the things that were surrounding me. So when I said I needed a break, I didn't expect for him to sit around and wait on me and try to figure out what it is that he wanted to do, because at the end of the day, he got a life just like I got one. So when I sat there and I made that decision, he understood that I needed some time to myself and I needed some time alone. And I was glad that he was very understanding, because I was just spreading myself thin to everybody. And it was kind of like I was just focused on everybody and not myself. I'm focused on this relationship, then I'm focused on my brother, then I'm focused on my mama, then I'm focused on my friends and their problems and everybody else. And it had gotten to the point to where I had like a breakdown just about. I was at work one day, and my coworker had asked me to help him out with something. And honestly, that set me off. Can you help me with this? I went the fuck off on him. And it was so wrong of me to do that. But in the mental state that I was in at that moment, that's all I kept hearing people say was, help me. I need you for this. I need you for that. Can you help me? Help me with this. Help me with it. It's always someone needing me to help them with something. And it's like nobody could help me with anything. Like, I have like this big glass of water, and everybody else thirsty, and I'm giving them, you know, a sip, a sip. You have a sip. You have a sip. Everybody have a sip. Now when it's time for me to have a sip, and I ain't got shit to drink. I ain't got nothing to give. So it was fucked up for me, because I had all of this going on, and you know, my uncle had died, and then, you know, my brother had his spell, and I was just so worried about him and worried about everybody else, and I just couldn't function. So I apologized to my coworker, and I told him that I said, I'm sorry. And he said, what's wrong, Scotty? Like, I've noticed that you've been down the last couple of days, and I was down. And he said, tell me what's wrong. And as I was trying to explain it to him, I was just like that. I started having an anxiety attack right there, and he had to calm me down. And I knew then that I just had to just back away from everybody, just to get my mind clear. And I just felt like at the time when I was dating this man, you know, there were things that he wanted from the relationship, And at the time that we were discussing it, I felt like I could give that to him at that time. I wanted to just be the best man that I could be to him, because I knew that he would be the best man for me. But when I was dealing with that during that period, I kind of figured out that I wouldn't be able to give him everything that he wanted. Like, he was ready to get married, and I thought I was ready for it, but I really wasn't ready to get married right away. Like, I just wasn't ready for the type of relationship that you know, we were trying to build. And I thought that I was ready for it, but the more I saw myself feeding everybody else and not feeding myself, and just forgetting all about me, and right here in my head, I was like, I need a break. And he understood that. And you know, he was like, you know, whether we're together or we're friends, I'm gonna always care about you. And you know, even when, and you know, that was it. I did not, we didn't speak for a while. But I do know that when I went to New Jersey, he hit me up. You know, he was asking me about my trip, and you know, he knew the issues that I had with my family, and he was happy to hear that I wasn't having that the trip that I talked about on the video a couple of days ago kind of mended things between me and my brother, me and my grandmother, me and my sister, and all that stuff. And he was happy to hear that. And I told him Happy Father's Day and all of that. So you know, I was just, while I was in Atlanta, I saw like a post that he made, and he was thanking all the people in his life, and he was thanking his parents, his siblings, and a special friend. And I was saying to myself, I'm like, yeah, you know, he has found him someone else. And like I said, you know, everything that I told him, I meant it. But I knew that it wasn't the right time for me. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to give him that. And you know, he was willing to move here and start his whole life over, and I didn't want him to move down here right then at that point, because I was all for it at first. You know, I was all for him coming down here. And like I'm telling y'all, everything that I said to him and everything that we planned to do, I was for it. I wanted it just like he did. But when I got down low like that, I just knew that I wasn't able to deal with the relationship. I really needed to focus on cleansing my own soul, because there was a lot of things in my mind and in my brain, and I had to clear out my mind. And I know that y'all have been asking me, was I still in a relationship? And at this point, no. So it's like, at this point in my life, I feel like I'm in a better headspace. And maybe if I would have met him now, I would have been able to continue with what we were trying to build. But one thing about him is that he's a great man. And whoever gets him, or whoever got him now, they're lucky, because he's a great guy. He is a great guy. He is. And that's pretty much, like, in my eyes, the one that got away. In my opinion, you know, that's the way I see it at this point. Because, you know, it's like, yeah, I had a great guy, but I knew that I wasn't ready. And I wasn't going to continue to go on, and I wasn't ready. I didn't realize I wasn't ready until I had that breakdown, and I knew that I couldn't do it right away. So, you know, and I know he watches my videos, and he's always been supportive of what I do. So I know he's probably watching this. But if he is watching it, I'm just going to tell you this. I want to thank you for the time that you were in my life, as far as in a relationship with me. I want to thank you for everything that you taught me, all the advice that you gave. And even though I didn't want to hear it at the time, everything that you said to me was all true. And it's pretty much manifested into my life, especially your advice in regards to my family. You were very proud to know that I was able to mend those wounds, because that's something you always wanted me to do. You always wanted me to, you know, mend those wounds with your grandmother, mend those wounds with your brother. Don't be like that. Don't do this. And like I said, I'm in a better headspace than I was when I asked for a break. But like I said, I wasn't expecting you to sit there and wait on me to get myself together. Because that really wasn't, that's my mental issues ain't got nothing to do with you. Not really mental issues, but my emotional problems ain't got nothing to do with you. It's all me. And I didn't want to subject you to that. So, yeah, I just want to thank him for the things that he did to me. Not did to me. The things that he did for me emotionally. He was always a listening ear, and I really do appreciate that. But, you never know. You never know what the future holds. Maybe in another lifetime. Maybe in another lifetime, I could be with him and I'd be my much better self. Be my much better positive self as I am at this moment in time. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I just decided to come in and just talk about how it feels when you do a mental cleanse. Like you take that time for yourself. And I was going through it during the months of February and March. I really was, but I wasn't talking about it in my videos because, you know, I didn't want to be accused of complaining or doing this or doing that, and or making excuses, because I really wasn't. But you know, I just didn't want to talk about anything until I was in a better mind frame to discuss everything. That's when I wanted to do it. But sometimes you need that mental cleanse, and sometimes you need to be by yourself and just figure some things out and just be to yourself and everything like that. And that's the best feeling ever, when you're by yourself and you ain't got to worry about shit. And that's what I did. And now I have a clear mind and I can think better about certain things. But with that being said, you guys, this is my video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.